Welcome to Red Tech channel, a new way to learn. In anatomy, today I am going to discuss about the joints. Please watch the previous video before watching this. The link is given in the description. So let's begin. Joints. Joints basically a junction between two or more bones, or you can say that cartilage also. It is the device in the human body which allow movement of the several joints. However, some joints are not allow movement, but they act as a joints in our human body. This is you can say that exception, but joints basically definition of joints is junction between two or more bones, or you can say cartilage also. Now move to types of joints. So joints basically classified into three types based basis on their connective material. Connected material which can be bone, cartilage, which coming under articulation. Articulation basically a cartilage, or you can say a surface which allow freely movement of body, or you can say freely movement of bones in the joints. So type 1 is immovable joint, which is you can say that fixed joint also, and fibrous joint also. So second one is slightly movable joint and also known as cartilaginous joints. And third one is freely movable joint, that is also called as synovial joint. So these types are based on their connective material, or you can say bone or cartilage, and on you can see here that on the basis of movement also these joints are categorized in three types. Now move to one by one. The first one is immovable joint. Name suggesting said that these joint does not allow movement, so also called as fixed joint, or you can say fibrous joint. So we have to remember these things also. In this joint basically, with these joint are connected with tough tissue which develop during childhood. The tissue which develop in the childhood, the connected material are used in these joint. So these type of joint articulating surface of the bone are connected by fibrous tissue and allow very little movement. So these joint have it connected by fibrous tissue, that's why we called it also fibrous joint. And example of the immovable joint, or you can say fixed joint or fibrous joint, is cranium, or you can say skull. You can say that the attached bone in the skull. So cranium basically a immovable joint that cannot allow, or you can say that not permit movement. Here in this have also three types. The first one is sutures. Sutures in the skull bone, you can say suture are connected by the many skull bones. So these are type of immovable joint. These fibrous connective tissue connect the bones without allowing movement. And second one is syndesmosis, that is connected by interosseous ligament, like example, for example, inferior tibiofibular joint in the leg. And third one is gomphosis, that is also known as peg and socket, which is example is tooth in the bony socket. So these are the types of immovable joint which does not allow movement in the human body, but they act as a joint. So we study about the immovable joint that cannot be movement and which is connected by fibrous tissue, that's why we called it is fibrous joint. And suture, syndesmosis and gomophosis are the types of these joint. So we have to remember that these articulating surface of the bone are connected by fibrous tissue. Now move to second one, slightly movable joint, that is also known as cartilaginous joint. In this also name suggesting said that slightly movable means which permit, or you can say which allow slight movement in the joints. So movement indeed but only at certain point. So little movement requirement, or you can say little movement allow in this joint. In the joint, articulating surface are connected by cartilage, so their articulating surface are connected by cartilage, that is why also known as cartilaginous joint. In the example, you can say that vertebra, which is individual vertebra separated by cartilage, the vertebra all are connected by cartilage, so these are cartilaginous joint. Now move to first one is primary cartilaginous joint, that is synchondrosis. uh, that means the articulating end of the bone is connected by a plate of hyaline cartilage. These are ossify into bone at certain age, so these are immovable joint. For example, joint between epiphysis and diaphysis of a growing bone. So at a certain age, these hyaline plate of hyaline cartilage become ossify and make a long bone. So for here you can see the example, the joint between epiphysis and diaphysis in the growing bone. So the primary cartilaginous joint are present in the growing bone only. Second one is secondary cartilaginous joint. This is also known as symphysis, and the articulating surface is covered by hyaline cartilage, same as uh, earlier. However, an articulating disc is present between the articulating surface. So another add one is articulating disc is present between articulating surface. The articulating disc is a white fibrocartilage. These joint are permanent except symphysis menti, and these joint allow a limited movement. For example, pubic symphysis, manubrium, sternum joint, and intervertebral joint between the bodies of vertebra. So here you can see the difference between both primary cartilaginous joint and secondary cartilaginous joint. In the primary cartilaginous joint, here you can see the joint, in the both joint there is hyaline cartilage present, but in the secondary cartilaginous joint, hyaline cartilage and fibrocartilage also present. So that is a difference between both of them, I show you. And now we revise the whole scenario. The first one is fibrous joint, the fibrous tissue connected to bone, that's why we call fibrous joint. Second one, cartilaginous joint, two articulating surface bone are joined by cartilages, so that's why cartilaginous joint we say that. And the third one is synovial joint. In this type of joint, the articulating surface are separated by a joint cavity where synovial fluid are present and basically are connected by means of fibrous capsule and other ligament. And these joint have extreme mobility, or you can say movement, you can say that also. So synovial joint, suggesting that the synovial fluid is related to synovial fluid, or you can say this is synovial, this is separated by a joint cavity. Cavity means a space where connective material are present. So that's all for this video. Do subscribe if you like, and thanks for watching.